Hello and welcome to week 3 of The Dart in Life. This week is the turn of Adam Marziano. Adam,
Uh,
welcome.
yeah, well, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming. I know it's been a bit of a rush. You're still coming in your gear from coaching, a bit
Uh,
of MMA. Talk to us about that.
yeah, at the moment, I'm a amateur boxing coach with Boxing Clever Academy in Nuneaton. Been coaching for about 2 years now, but I've competed amateur for them. But then I had a massive knee surgery, snapped two ligaments in my knee, never recovered. So I thought it's time to give someone like back what they gave to me. So I want to see like kids blossom and someone coming from the gym who's had a tough upbringing like myself and like create something, not be the best boxer, but be the best them.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to be the best them. So it gives him like a sense of well-being, a sense of achievement. They might not be a world champion or even box or even box in a ring competitively, but it gives them a sense of like, yes, I can do this. I've been, look where I've come from, where I can go to. That's why like I do coach, and it's good. Some days it can be tough because you try and teach someone and they don't get it. Next week, teach them something really hard, and they'll get it.
I suppose it's so rewarding to see the achievements of others,
Yeah,
like when you used to
yeah.
box.
Like I say, like I come from the MMA background, 22. I can remember watching UFC as a young kid and like thinking, oh, wow, this looks amazing. This looks like, cause I weren't no like angel as a kid. I was a bit of a nutter, so I thought I'd like to have a go at this, but then I thought I never really like grew balls really. So it got to about 22. I thought I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a go. And started training at a local MMA academy. And next thing you know, I went and had a fight and won. So I thought, oh, I can do this. But same with every sport, you have your ups and lows. I knew I weren't prolific. I just had heart, and that's the only thing. I had heart and I could take a punch. So I just moved forward in my fights. I weren't nothing spectacular.
I
So
suppose with every sport, as long as you enjoy it, you're going to get something out of
I
it.
loved it, mate. I loved the thrill of it. And I've always been, I like contact sports. I love contact sports because when I used to play rugby as well, I used to play rugby for Manor Park. And I used to love going on the rugby pitch for 80 minutes, sliding through the mud, running into people like brick walls. But then you go into the clubhouse, here's a point, mate. Well done, great game. And like, I was actually trying to like ruin your life here. And next thing you know, you're buying me a pint. I couldn't get my head around it. So that's why I love controlled contact sports. I'm not asked about like fighting on the street. Sorry, as we work a lot, I've got to go. I've got to go work tonight. Do apologise, but yeah, I love controlled contact sports, and I don't know why I like it, but it's just something about it that you can go and have a nice little tear up, a nice little controlled spar, not like windmilling and all that, just a nice little controlled spar. Then your mates after, how you doing, mate? Yeah, like fancy doing this? It's brilliant. I think every kid should either get into a contact sport or something that gives them a sense of well-being, just something different.
Builds up the resilience as well, of
Yeah,
course. Talk to us about your biggest achievements in MMA, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, of
yeah,
course, as
done that.
well.
Yeah. Like I say, I went through MMA. Had 5 fights, won three, lost two. I took a bad defeat in my fifth fight, which like I kind of like I rushed into that fight thinking, oh, I had a week's notice to do it. This lad had an MMA fight. I can go in here. Walked into the ring, looked up. I was like, yeah, it's going to be a bad day for me. And I walked in. He finished me first round. First person to put me on my backside as well. The video's on YouTube as well if anyone wants to watch it. But then I crossed over. I found out like I quite like grappling. I weren't a striker. I like grappling. So I went to the grappling site, like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, BJJ. Went to a club in Nuneaton called Andre Ramos BJJ. And there's a few other clubs I went around as well. And I got the bug for it. Loved it. Loved yet again. I can go on the mats, go and strangle someone with your own clothes, then have a chat like, where did I go wrong? Well, you done this, you done that. Try doing this and doing that. Like, active coach. Then I went to my first competition, which was the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu BJJ Open in Coventry at Skydome, and I won my bracket. I won the ultra heavyweight in 2017 at my level. It weren't like black belt level or anything like that, but I won't upsell myself. It was like white belt level, but still going into there, I had four matches, won all four of them. I'm like buzzing. This is brilliant. I absolutely loved it. Then I got awarded my blue belt, which is the next one because in BJJ you only get 5 belts: white, blue, purple, brown, black. And I got to my. It took me 2 years to get to my blue belt. Then I went to another competition and won that. Won the Leicester Open as well. So I've had a good run, but then another knee surgery yet again killed me in the running. So then I took a few years off, kept playing darts, so I played darts from a young age, kept playing darts, but trying to do darts and a physical sport at the same time, it's hard because when you're training and you got to go darts straight after, you're alive, you're shaking everywhere. So what I did was I had a couple of years off, just rest my body. Then I went to boxing and started boxing in a local boxing club. Then thought, I want more. So I went to Boxing Clever, who I coach for now, and I had 2 amateur fights for them, won 2. Then, yet again, stood up. I stood up at work, and my knee separated, snapped 2 ligaments, so it killed me. So I was like, I'm never going to box again. Where do I go now? How can I give back to my community, to the people that gave me something, gave me a sense of well-being? I knew I weren't going to be the best, but I felt the best me for a change, and I was like, I love this. So more time to give something back now.
And it made you feel great, of course, doing what you love to do.
Yeah, and that's it. And as I say to everyone, like I come across, do something you love, and if you're going to do it, put 110% in it. Because if you do that, you'll reap the rewards. Like I say to the kids, if they're doing like half-assed exercises, they're only going to get half-assed results out of it. You put the proper work in, you'll get the proper results out. And same with everything. Same with like going to college. Same with whatever they want to do in life, not even sports, work. If it's work, you put that energy in, you'll get that energy back. It's how nature works.
Absolutely. So you spoke there about the kids.
Yeah.
Tell us about your kids, because you foster, don't you, as
Yes,
well?
I've got 3 kids. I've got Josh, who's my oldest. He's 16. He lives in Ireland with his mum. Then I've got Harvey, who's the lad I foster. He's 15. He's been with us nearly 2 years now. Then I've got a daughter called Darcy, who's 14. But Harvey, my mum and dad were foster carers, and they fostered me. So I was in care myself. I went to care when I was 14, which was 2000. Stayed there when to 2002, and always called them mum and dad. They were my mum and dad. Like my real, I call them sperm donor and birth giver. That's all they are to me. It's wrong to say, but they are the reason why I was in care.
Mhm.
So it don't exist. I don't love them. I don't hate them. Like it's if you have a feeling like if you like say, oh, I hate them, you still got a feeling for them. So that means they still exist.
Mhm.
For me, they don't exist. I don't have no feelings for them, which it sounds horrible because I did have some good times. I had a lot of bad times. That's why I was in care. But getting back to my mum and dad retired 2 years ago. They had 6 kids in the house for about 10 years. They fostered so many kids. And it got to a point where they were retiring, and the lad who was not going with them was going to go back into the care system. And he's a lovely lad. I can't ask for no better. And we've dropped on with him. So we're like, let's bite the bullet. We'll go into fostering. We'll be the next Marzianos to go into the care. Like, so I've always said I want to give someone the life that my mum and dad gave me. If it weren't for my mum and dad, I've always said there'd be like directions I was going. And I said this in my wedding speech. I went, I would be dead or I'd have killed myself. Like, because that's how I was going. Someone's going to do it to me, or I was going to do it to myself. Because that's the way I was. So I owe them a lot.
And you have had a tough upbringing as well, haven't you? How much you want to
Oh,
divulge?
mate, I'm an open book, Simon.
There's stories that I only found out
Yeah,
yesterday, um, and I think for viewers and listeners, um, there is a moral of a story here that if you're willing
yeah,
to
yeah,
divulge it.
yeah. So the 2 years prior to me going in fostering, I lived with the birth giver, my real mum, and it was never great. It was never great from a young age. One of the earliest memories I can remember was my brother was having his bedroom painted. He had the biggest bedroom in the house, and I can remember sitting on a chest of drawers and I had a beaker of Ribena. I was 4 years old. I accidentally spilt it on a brand new carpet. My mum walked up to it and stared at me. Blood splattered across the face. That's one of the earliest memories I've got. And I've grown up like through people in my family self-harming and all that, and going without. Like I never had a main pair of trainers till I started high school, and that's because I went to care as well. Like went to care. When I was 14, I had my first main pair of trainers. I thought I was walking around like Rocky Balboa, thinking like, this is amazing. I've got a pair of Nikes on my feet. I've never known this. So I always had hand me downs, or I had to go and get like something like Pro Match. So it wasn't great through the years, but in year 2000, my brother committed suicide through his own mental struggles. He tried 5 times before. It was a ticking time bomb. He was always going to go. He was always going to go out that way. So I'm glad he went out the way he wanted, and it's shit. Like tomorrow will be his 24th anniversary, October 2nd, 2000. He died. So worst pain in my life. Best thing since I've played my brother was.
How old were you at the time?
I was 14. I was the first person to know as well. I never found him, but from the police knocked on my door. Because when I was 14, I was like 16 stone, same height. I ain't grown since I was 14. I was 5'10" when I was 14.
As a 14-year-old, how do you process losing your
You
brother?
don't.
Not just losing him, but the fact that he's took his own life at how old was your brother at the time?
He was 22.
So as a young man,
Yeah,
he's
he was
took his
20.
own life.
Yeah, 22. He was always troubled. Like, there's times where, like, his bedroom, like, I've gone into my brother's bedroom and, like, people are like, don't go in there, don't go in there. Because then you think, from an early age, you think, oh, he's tried again, isn't he? And, like, you get to a point where, is it, like, you kind of like, is it me? Am I doing anything wrong? Can I save him? Can I help him? But I'm a 14-year-old lad. What do I know? All I should be doing is playing Xbox and get or PlayStation and out in the park. That's all I should be doing. But yeah, when I first found out, um, yeah, it's just what what it's not. Yeah, sound brilliant. Then my real mum walked in. I had to tell her that your firstborn died. Great news. And then it just went south like that. But there were things leading up to why he done the ultimate deed, because we had a family member got sent down for being a paedophile as well. So it just pushed him over the edge. So, but then I went to care because I had 2 suicide attempts and
And what age were those attempts?
14.
So at 14, you attempted to take
Yeah,
your own life.
because my home life weren't great. I, me and my real mum just absolutely eat each other's throats.
How did you get out of that?
Um,
How did you get in the mindset that you wanted to take your own life, and then you've almost overcome that to be the man that you are now?
I can remember being in hospital because the second overdose attempt, we was arguing with each other. My brother died, and we was arguing with each other, and I can remember it clear as day. I just went, and that was like, oh, do you want me to take an overdose? Said she went, go on, and I wish you died instead of your brother. I'm like, Alrighty then, I'll go and do it. But then I'd done it, and then I was like, oh my God, what have I done? Why am I letting someone beat me? Why am I letting someone come at me and dictate my life? And so I went round to my mate and said, look, you need to phone me an ambulance because I've took an overdose. Like, you help me out here. So I'm like
Yeah.
a bit scared. So I went into hospital and we needed to sort something out. And I said to the hospital, I said, is there no way I can I'll go in care? Because my sister was in care as well. My sister Yvonne, who was 6 years old, she was in care. So obviously there's patterns through my family
Yeah.
of going in care. So I was like, put me in care. I was only supposed to go in care for 2 weeks with the Marzianos. Ended up staying for 2 years. Best decision of my life, I'm telling you now. Loved it.
And so at that time was so tough. Speak to us about your mental health throughout your life since then. And do you think it's been affected by obviously everything that you've been through,
Yeah,
the tough upbringing, your brother,
yeah,
yourself committing a couple of suicide attempts?
yeah. It's. I don't get wrong. I do have days where thinking like this, this could be your time to do it. But then I'm thinking I am not going out of the way. I will dictate the way I'm going out, and I am not letting my mental health beat me. Some days I'm going to be down at the
Mm.
bottom, but knowing like people say I'm at rock bottom. You tell me if you're at rock bottom, what's the only way you can go? Is up. You can't go if you're at rock bottom. You can't go no further. So you're at your lowest point. There's only one way to go for that, and that is back up. Life's like a wave. You're going to take the rough with the smooth. You're going to go up and down and up and down. Enjoy the good times. But when you're down, you know you're going to come back up. So you've got to ride it out. And that's what I think to myself. It has a massive effect. It's had a massive effect in past relationships. It's had a massive effect why my son lives in Ireland. It's like, um, because I ruined that relationship and I'm not a part of his life full time. Then other things happened and her family moved back to Ireland. She's like, I've got nothing over here. I'm going to move to Ireland. So I was like, you do what you got to do. I'm the one who ruined this relationship and I'll hold my hands up for that. I'm one of these. I will, if I make my bed, I will lie in it. I will not sugarcoat it or anything like that. So yeah, it has a massive effect on me. It does have a massive effect on me now. But I've got ways to deal with it now. Because like every now and again, you think your brain's a computer and you got this anti like virus software like keeping you happy. Every now and then, your brain gets corrupted by a virus,
Yeah.
and all you need is a new anti software to go in there. So what happened? What worked 10 years ago for me to keep myself at bay will not work now. So all I've had to do now is just keep finding anti software, just keep doing updates on my brain, and it's working. So I'm in a good place.
And obviously you're now married
Yep.
um, to the lovely Jodie. So
Yep.
talk to us about how she helps you stay on the straight and narrow.
All I'm going to say, when me and Jodie first got together, we got together on a joint trip to Ireland. My mates went to Ireland, her mates went to Ireland at the same time on the same trip, and I weren't the greatest. I bear in mind, but somehow I come back and I wooed her. I sent her like a little message. I'll come back with a cold. I sent her, I'm having like this like little lemsip. He was like my son's little cup about that big. I was like, oh. And from there we just hit it off and been together 14 years. Been married 3 because I was one of them. I was scared of marriage because I was one of these. I never had nothing good. So when I had something good, I subconsciously destroyed it because I didn't know how to deal with good stuff. I can deal with bad stuff, couldn't deal with good stuff. So it was just like that's the ultimate goal, getting married. And yeah, so we've been married 3 years. I proposed to her in Kensington, London. I made a proper hash of it. I was supposed to take her outside, like champagne knock on the door, take her outside, propose. Now I was like, well, want to marry me? So yeah, she's done one. She's changed. She's the one that changed my life. Her, Josh, my family. I've got a good network around me now.
Yeah.
I've got a solid network, and now one to change my life. Jodie keeps me on the straight and narrow. She gives me what for. My son's my greatest achievement in life because It's, I didn't think I'll ever have kids or anything like that.
So if you could give one bit of advice to someone who's struggling at rock bottom, who's contemplating taking their own life, there's a lot in the media nowadays about men struggling
Yeah.
with their mental health, not being enough support. Um, what advice would you give to them?
All I'm going to say is not the 1970s, 80s. Men ain't got to be always like all macho and like open up. One way to beat it is to accept that you've got this. Some people don't accept stuff, and then it once they don't accept it, it eats at them more. It will take bigger chunks out. Once you accept something, and you're okay with like when some people have bipolar or some people have like um, different diseases, and they accept it, it becomes easier to speak about how it is. Like speak to a stranger, phone
Yeah,
Samaritans, phone Mind Charity, speak to the postman walking down the road. Like there's a saying, I'd rather speak to you than be at your funeral. And I think just open up. It's not where men have to hold a feeling. Men have got to be men. You can still be a man, but you can still be okay with your
yeah.
feelings and be open.
It's okay to be upset, and
It's okay to be not okay.
yeah,
Boys get
absolutely,
sad too. Yeah,
absolutely. It's an important message to get across
yeah,
there. Um, so moving on to a bit more positive
yeah.
side. Obviously, you've come into the darts setup. Talk to us about how you became involved in darts.
Darts was in my household. I've always had dartboard on the larder door. Like we had a big larder and like we had a big larder door. So when you threw the darts, you heard it. But like when I used to walk around with a kid, like it was always on TV. I can always remember watching the BDO, like Richie Burnett, like Leighton Reese used to be like another one of my favourite players. Barney, I can remember watching the Barney final. I think it's 1995. Watched it and I'm glued to it. I don't know why. I was just glued to the table. Like, Mesmo didn't speak. And ever since then, I just love darts. But I had to play like, on a board on a chair because I couldn't reach the board. But then I just loved darts, and I got to a point where I can actually I can actually hit a 20. I'm not hit a 20, throw for a 20, get it, it's a
Yeah.
nine. Or I'm actually like I can do this a little bit. So it got to a point where I was about 18, and I thought, I'm 18 now, I'll go play in pub leagues. So I played around Nuneaton for a few years. Um, I weren't prolific, I weren't great. I could hit 20. I weren't, but I was too inconsistent. One week I'll have a great game, then next week it's not like I've even picked up a dart. So and that was I think that was down to nerves. So but then it got to a point where I was doing like all my MMA, me BJJ playing rugby and that. But then try and do all that while playing darts, it's hard because you're going straight from training straight into the dartboard and you're shaking like that because you're full of
Yeah.
adrenaline
Yeah.
or you're tired.
So now you're obviously involved in the county scene for
Yeah,
Leicestershire.
yeah.
Talk to us about the appearances that you've made there. Um,
Tell you what, playing county's always been on my radar. It's always been like on the bucket list saying I've played a county game. Oh, even if it's one game, I've played a county game. Even though I'm from Nuneaton, I'm playing for Leicestershire, and they've given me the biggest opportunity I've had in my darting career, and hopefully, like long may it continue. And it's such an honour, such a privilege, like to play, like for, like I say, look at the team we've got, look at the A team,
yeah.
look at the players you're around, look at where you travel. I never thought I was going to do any of that. I thought I was just going to be a local player that can hold his own, and that's it. But I took the dive into playing Super League. I took the dive into playing in the Stony Stanton League as well with the Union boys. They said, "Oh, we could play a couple games for us," and never looked back since. And I think playing county, it's only like going to get progress my game more. It's an honour. I like to say I'm one of these people. Like I won't take being selected for granted, even if I win. I would never take playing the next game for granted. I don't take breathing for granted, for God's sake. So I'm like, I've been picked again. I've been picked again. I'm buzzing. I've been picked.
Excitement.
And it is. It's such an honour. You that's why like at county stage, if Leicestershire are picking you or whoever's picking you, you should be buzzing that you're going on a county stage playing in front of 200 people, having your own walk-on song. How amazing does that feel? If I don't get any further, like in my darting career, if I lose my left hand to my left-handed player, at least I can say I'm happy with what I've done. But I do want to progress it. I do. I would love to like, go to like Q school one day, maybe.
And there's nothing stopping you from going to Q school. Of course, anyone can enter Q school. If you don't make the tour card, you can
Yeah,
then go on to the challenge tour, of
yeah,
course. But what sort of practice routines or inspiration do you get
yeah,
from playing for county?
yeah,
Obviously, you mentioned about giving you that buzz and that
yeah.
thrill, but how do you feel that it improves your game?
Oh, it does because look at the level you're playing at. You've got to go walk up onto a stage, and you've got eyes on you, and you think my back. If you see some of my games, my back leg is shaking, like because of the nerves. But that's helped me to in other things, in other walks of life. Like if I can deal with the nerves on that stage where everyone's on me, I can deal with the nerves in other things, like in other leagues, where played in the Stone Stanton League. I won the singles in the Stone Stanton League, beat Steve Giddins, who's a phenomenal player in the area. And you think, oh, like playing counties helped me out with that. So I think counties are at the moment one of the best things ever, and it will be one of the best things because hopefully I said to the wife in 2026 when I'm 40, I want to go for my tour. I'm not. I want to go to Q school. I probably won't. I'm a realist. I probably won't get my tour card, but that gives me the challenge tour, and it gives me the aspiration. Oh, I can build on that. I can build little blocks. Like say you've got a big ladder and you've got a big goal at the top. You need little goals there, little rungs to climb that ladder.
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm at the moment with my darts. It's just little goals, little wins to get to that big end goal. And maybe one day, who knows? I could be a pro. Never know.
Absolutely. You've already overcome so many obstacles.
Mm.
Who knows what is in store for the future? That concludes week 3 of the Darting Life. Thanks so much to Adam Marziano
Thank you.
for sharing your story.
Yeah.
And the important story here this week is please, if you are struggling, please reach out to others. Thank you.